How to get your hands onto this golf club in a way that's really going to help you is what we're looking at today. So come with me and let's get you improved with another game-changing golf tip. Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Smash Factor TV. Once again, my name's Natalie Adams. So today we're going to have a look at improving your grip. Now, grip is the only connection that you have on the club, so really important to get the hands on in the correct manner. This is really going to help you with a lot of directional control. If you've not got your hands on quite right, it can be the reason that you get the club face back to the ball in a more open or position pointing to the right of target or a more left of target position. And it will also affect your setup position to a certain extent, because it will affect the rotation that you get into your forearms and the angles that you're setting your wrists at. So a lot going on with putting your hands on incorrectly. Okay, so what we want to look at here is how to get your hands on. Now, I would say you want to hold, if you're hitting a full shot, try and hold at the maximum extent of the handle. So you want to make sure that you're not gripping down too much. You'd want to do that more for shorter shots or shots around the green where you need a little bit more control. So place your hand on initially so that you've just really using about half an inch at the end of the club is overhanging from that handle. Okay, now next thing we want to look at is just generally how to get those hands on. If you place your left hand, which is going to go at the top if you're a right-handed golfer, if you place your fingers pointing straight down at the floor, and we want to set the handle of the club sort of diagonally from the middle joint of the index finger to where the little finger really joins the hand. That's what you're looking for, that position there. And then what you can do is close your fingers around the back of the handle and then just place your thumb on the top of that. Now, one of the biggest issues with how you're holding for right-handed players is holding the club too much in the palm, with the palm at the back of the handle. Now that will feel a bit more secure to you initially because you've got your hand at the back of the club rather than just resting it in the fingers, but it's really important to get your palm on in the correct position. Now, if we just go through why, if you just stand with your hands relaxed, you'll notice that they're just slightly in front of you and they're rotated palm inwards. So this is their natural position that they want to be in. So we need to get your hands as close to on the club as that position will allow when we've got the club in the hands. So if you place, as I said, from the middle joint of the index finger to where the little finger joins the hand, if you place that down the side of the handle there and wrap your fingers round the back and then place your thumb on top, so you're holding the handle there in the fingers and not holding it in your palm. Okay, so we want the club in the fingers round the back, and then you place the pad of your left hand on the top of the handle to give you that firm connection so that you can swing that club and you've got a firm connection. And thumb is going to stay close to your hand and it'll just be just off center as you're looking down at that. Now here's a good checkpoint for you. If I take a coin, I should be able to put that coin between my thumb and my hand, and that coin should be pointing up to my right shoulder as I look down. Okay, that means I've got the club in the correct position there. If we see a position more like this, where you're not able to actually hold the coin at all because there's too much gap between the thumb and the hand, okay, so you have got your thumb off center, but there's too much gap here. So again, the palm is round to the left side too much, and you haven't got the fingers at the back of the club there. You're not holding the club enough in your fingers. So make sure that you feel like you could hold a coin between your thumb and your hand. place that, so fingers are going around the back, and then you'd wrap the hand round the top, and you should see that you've got that coin position diagonally going up towards the right shoulder, and it's on the top of the handle there, on the front of the handle. Okay, another little tip here as well, just as you're doing that, if you've got, there'll be a grip indicator on your grip, or you might have a name written on your club. Just make sure that is centered and on the front of the handle when you're doing this with your hand, because that will then ensure that the club face is in the correct position relative to your hand. Okay, so we've got the left hand on really well there. We want to do a very similar thing with the right hand. So again, if I place my fingers down at the ground, and we're going to go diagonally through the index finger, the middle joint there, and just where the little finger joins the hand, we're going to wrap those fingers round and then place the hand and the pad of the hand on the top to secure it. Okay, and then what we want to do is we're going to slide those hands together. So the little finger of the right hand and the index finger of the left hand touch each other, and then we're going to take those two fingers, if we just take them off, and then we can either interlock them together, or we can just overlap that little finger into the saddle between the index and the middle finger on the left hand. But it's really important again that you feel like you could hold a coin between your thumb and your hand. So if we just do that again, so you can see that position there on the right hand, I'll put a coin in there. So again, I've got that coin. When I look down at the club there, that coin is pointing at my right shoulder, and it's on the top of the handle. So my palms are in a really good position here, and I've got the pressure in my fingers and the pad of my left hand there. Okay, now that will allow me to set up with my arms in a more parallel position, okay, to the target. So I've had a pole across my forearms here. I'd now be getting my palms parallel to the my arms parallel to the target line. If I rotate this hand out that way, it'll drop this forearm back, and then I'll end up with a pole there would be pointing more to the left of the target. And similarly, if I come over too much this way, again my arms will have rotated round. So it's now starting to have a knock-on effect, that it's affecting the rotation in my arms here. That's going to affect my start position, and then it's going to have a massive effect as I swing the club back. One last thing to just say about how you're holding that golf club, and that's how tightly you're holding it. So if I said to you, squeeze the club as tightly as you can, and we call that a 10, and then I'd want you to just go to half of that, a 5. So if you can manage to hold a 4 or a 5 throughout the swing, that's the correct pressure that you want in your hands. You don't want to be squeezing really tight. Reason for that being, if you start to squeeze really tight with your hands, the muscles in your arms start to tighten up, and effectively when muscles get tighter they get a bit shorter, so effectively you're raising the club off the ground, and it's one of the main reasons that you can hit a topped golf shot and just hit the very top of the ball. So work on those key points to help you improve how you're holding that golf club, how you're getting your hands on. It's the only connection you have, which is really important to get that connection correct. It will feel strange if you're having to alter it to start with. It's just unfamiliar. So just keep picking the club up, even when you're not playing. Have one lying around the house. Just keep picking the club up. Go through those checkpoints so you're getting more familiar with how to get your hands on in that way. It'll give you much more directional control, because you'll have more control over the club face. You'll be able to control the rotation in your arms a lot better, not only as you just set up, but as you swing as well. But it will get you hitting the golf ball a lot better. It's a game-changing golf tip.